I think my Wi-Fi is running slow. So y'all, the library people she just talked to us about like some type of ban or something they doing in Missouri, like where they want the parents to have access to whatever the kids are like looking at, and it's like, well, what they want them to have permission or whatever as a guardian. I gotta look at it because it really just sounds like if my parent says yes to have for me to have a library card, then I'll be able to look at this stuff. But it's saying like they have to prohibit anything that gives them other information that their parents are not aware of or something like that. Which sounds like when I ordered a Details magazine. So anyway, I don't know. It just doesn't. It wasn't. I don't know. I was trying to hear, but I couldn't hear. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like I couldn't really hear what they were talking about. But what it is like what they think it is like it's prohibiting children from seeing different cultures and all this different stuff. Which they did that in Texas too. Remember about the hamster? Like they said that I was teaching the kids yoga and teaching them about the hamster and all that stuff. And it's like if you would have been looking into my classroom, if you would have been giving me privacy within my classroom, then this wouldn't happen. So, and that's against the law. It's against the law. It still is against the law for them to record inside of a classroom without my permission. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's like that don't sound right. Y'all get what I'm talking about? It just does not. It does not sound right. So anyway, what I'm saying is, if it's gonna stop, it's actually gonna prohibit the They saying it's gonna defund the library. This stuff don't sound right to me. So anyway, I'm just saying like you're gonna defund the library. The whole situation don't sound right. And it was like they just came where it was just like so deep and all this stuff. And it's like for real, really, it's already if you already have a library card. And your parent gets you the library card, that is giving them permission. So that's why I was just like, I'm not going to say anything. Because it just sounds like it's saying, get them a library card. If they don't have a library card, then it's going to prohibit them from getting a book. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. So what I'm saying is, Missouri, just take the shit away. Because the shit already in place. All it's saying is like, they getting a library card. And they have to have the parents' permission to get the library card. If they don't have a library card, then they can't check anything out in the library. Or they can't. Now it's like they cannot touch the books. If they don't have a free library card, they cannot touch the free books. And so it's like, that shit don't make sense. It don't make sense. You're going to defund the library. Then the only cops we got it's the only cops we got in St. Louis, the librarians, and they ain't that strict anyway. You're going to defund the library. That's some dumb shit to me. So yeah, that's what I learned. So just some more dumb shit. Missouri, leave people the fuck alone. They ain't got nothing else to do. They done killed all the wrong fucking people. They ain't got nothing the fuck else to do. I can't. I can't even back it up, y'all. I don't even know what the fuck they talking about. I couldn't even find it on here. Let me look one more time. Prohibiting yeah, here you go. Missouri libraries must address inappropriate books. So, okay, here we go. I said this too. You know what? Something else that happened, y'all, was like when I was in college. I remember I wrote this thing about Benin City, Nigeria, and how they need to actually take the book off the shelf or it needs to be rewritten because the way that it was stated, everything was like the Benin City Nigerian people were wrong for wanting them not to come into their land, and it's like that's the same thing as protecting this house. It's like I'm wrong, but if I don't want you to come into this house. And it's my house. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's their culture. That's their land. It's all this stuff. And so these white people just kept wanting to enter in Benin City, Nigeria. And it was like, You don't have to go to Benin City. Like, you don't have to be there. So they said, oh, they heard all these things about they were sacrificing people that were doing this. They didn't know anything. They were drinking blood and all this different stuff. And it was like, it might not have been true. So it's so many other African cultures. Let me tell y'all why too. It's other African cultures that actually hurt kids, like make them dumb, put nails in their head, all this stuff, because they say they got spirits or something like that. Actually attack other people's children for being smart, all this different stuff. They do this in Africa. So when they do that, you're just like, what the fuck wrong with you? So Benin City, Nigeria, we don't know what they was doing. You see what I'm talking about? It was like such a long time ago. And so what they did was too, they took a war strategy from them. So since they took the war strategy from them, now they like, it's like they took the war strategy. So now it's like, now let's condemn this Benin City, Nigeria to whatever. And it's like, why would you take the war strategy? And you find this out in like the first part of the book. The first part, like the first 2 or 3 pages, you find out that these motherfuckers infiltrated the city and they beat their ass. Then they tried to infiltrate them the same way. Y'all see what I'm saying? And they still use it today as a war strategy, because I learned the strategy in ROTC. Was that a coincidence? I think not. I think not. Y'all got to stop stealing, and you got to stop trying to berate everybody and make everything out to be some bad thing. Like, please come to us with a positive attitude, because this is not 1950. Like, this is actually 2023. Actually 22. I'm sorry, 2022. And it's like, y'all actually still come with this negative information, like this shit is really gonna help us. Like, this woman just sat here and tried to like tell us, I can't vote her. So anyway, it's like they sitting here and telling us about this bill, and it's like, it's stupid. Like, you already got a library card. The parent has to get a library card, and that gives the child permission to get the books. So prohibit what books? And that's what it just said. Prohibit Missouri. What word did they use? They have to prohibit the books that a child can come in contact with. And so it's like the whole part of banned books. Missouri banned. So it's like the whole part of, you see, this is what it is. Genderqueer, all boys aren't blue, Out of Darkness, The Bluest Eye, The Hate You Give. So these are all books that are banned. And it's like, for what? Like, these are books that need to be read, and beyond magenta, transgender books, all the stuff is like, if this makes you uncomfortable, then you don't need to be voting on any, you don't need to even be looking at bills. If this makes you uncomfortable, if sexuality, if a human being not wanting to know more about themselves makes you uncomfortable, you don't need to have a seat on a Senate. You know, if that shit makes you uncomfortable, you need mental help. I'm sorry to give it to y'all like that too, because that might even get the shit passed. I'm not joking. With me saying this, if that makes you uncomfortable, you need mental help, because that is not something that a healthy person would even think about. You are unhealthy. You are mentally unhealthy. If that is all that perplexes you about life, because I'm gonna tell you, if a person is genderqueer, gay, homosexual, heterosexual, whatever they are, I'm in this house. I'm right here. And none of that stuff bothers me. None of that stuff stops me from eating. None of it stops me from sleeping, brushing my teeth, washing my ass. Nothing. Something wrong with y'all. Now I see what they're saying now. They do need to have access to it. Period. Especially in Missouri, because y'all are very, as far as like gay, straight, all that stuff goes, y'all are very queer phobic. You are very LGBTQ phobic. That's why I used to have to help back in the day. So it's like, yeah, if that's the case, bitch, Defund your fucking self. Find yourself at a mental hospital and defund yourself. If I start crying, y'all, I'm talking about I saw the kids on the street. This was 2002, 2003. They put their kids out on the street for being gay. We had a high homeless gay population here. And the kids were like 15, 16 years old. They put their kids on the street. And you want me to believe that these books, let me tell you though, if those kids grow up here, and this is now the new generation of an LGBTQ community, you understand what I'm saying? It's like they are not that homophobic now. So why would this bill even be set up? It makes no sense to me because, again, we are talking about progression and not digression. So you have to let a human being figure out who their whole self is. And those books help human beings figure out their whole self. That is something that you guys continuously deny. Deny a person the right to get to know who they are. Deny them. Not deny. Grant the person the right to get to know who they are. Grant the people the right to know other cultures outside of themselves. It's a sexual culture. I read lesbianism books all the time, and I'm telling you, I'm not a lesbian. It's not gonna make or break me. But if I'm curious about it, I'm gonna read about it. And depending on sexuality, like I said, I'm 15%. I could be 15% of me is a non-sexual lesbian. So what would I say that is a non-sexual person that's attracted to femininity. And so lesbian relationships for me, because I was in one, is the same as a regular relationship. I don't see the difference in it. So if I read about it, I don't see them as this is the man and this is the woman. I see them as two people that love each other, that care for each other. So denying a child a right to have that, to look at it. If my son thought that too, if my son felt like maybe he was polyamorous and he wanted to read about two girls that are together, what's wrong with that? If that's him getting to know a different sexual culture. It's like y'all always, you so afraid of your dick and your vagina and your penis. It's like you afraid of your penis and your pussy. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, don't be afraid of yourself. Y'all, it's like y'all just put fear into everything. If we know what we know, let it be known and let's go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that shit go. That's not your business. What they read is not your business. Get the fuck over yourself. It won't make you anything else. What book did I read about lesbian? I done read like a couple books from lesbian writers, and I like them. I can't remember. One of them was like The Orange, something like that, but it was a black. I also read books by gay men, and it's like I just don't have an issue with it. I just don't have an issue with that. It's so nice learning about how their childhood was and all this stuff. It's just like, it's not a difference in childhood. It's not a difference in what it was, and they don't always talk about how they got attracted to this person or anything. They just live a life, and then when they do, it's like still the cutest shit. Like, this girl pushed me in the corner and kissed me, like same as some boy pushed me in the corner and kissed me too. It's like, are you serious? That happened to you too? Oh my god, what was she like? So it's like, that's what it is. It's like, let people dive into getting to know different people. Like I said, when I watched Ellen, I never thought about her being gay. I only thought about her bookstore. When I read Jamaica Kincaid, the biggest part of the book was the smell of my vagina. Like, I learned to love the smell of my vagina. What it was another book on there that I like. What was the other book that I said? The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It's like, I read that book too. Like, what is it that's wrong with it? Beloved by Toni Morrison. They got all these books, and it's like, this book is gay by Juno Dawson. This One Summer. It's like, please give them the right to it. I think also, did I have Push in my classroom or something? It was some book that these girls was reading in my classroom, and they gave them access to these different stories, and it's like all we had to do is just sit down and tell them. But it was like they allowed this ignorant little girl to run my classroom. You didn't let me run my classroom. You let Tamisha run the classroom. You should just made Tamisha the teacher. So it's like, if that's the case, and then they get to a scene where it's about the vagina and all this serious stuff, I think it was like something inappropriate in the book. And they just kept holding on to the book. And it's like, that's not inappropriate. That's a relationship. You see what I'm saying? That's a sexual relationship. It's not something you want to rush into. But that's a relationship, and it's okay for you to talk to them about this type of stuff. I couldn't even talk to that class about their period. I was trying to give her, I was teaching them about the wipes to wipe your vagina when you have your period. It's only girls in the classroom, and they took that too far too. So that was something like, it's like, because you make your children uncomfortable about these types of talks, then it's like not comfortable for a teacher to talk to them about those things too. So then therefore you will have an ignorant population. So y'all really need to stop doing that shit. Stop trying to ban the books and all this stuff, because this stuff is not stuff that they shouldn't be comfortable with. It's your body. It's an awkward thing, but as you grow, it's supposed to be more comfortable. You see, I got a case. Either way, it's Shante Brown Sugar Talk on the Black Unicorns telling y'all to fuck off and get a fucking life. Have a good day.